Hello, Troy here, and today we're going to be analyzing a Bach chorale. Entitled, Abide with Us, Lord Jesus Christ. I'm not going to attempt to say the German title. This will primarily be a harmonic analysis of this chorale, not a melodic analysis. The scale degrees used will illustrate voice leading and harmonic direction. In a quick overview, this chorale has 4 phrases ending on the subdominant, tonic, dominant, and tonic again. In a more jazz analysis, we start on the tonic with the first phrase tonicizing the subdominant through a first inversion D major chord, a secondary subdominant chord G major to a secondary dominant chord A major, which finalizes the tonicization of D major. The second phrase instantly returns to A major with a deceptive cadence to solidify A major. The 4 chord leads into the tonic, which uses a first inversion chord to set up a 5/7 with a 4/3 suspension to a perfect authentic cadence. The third phrase uses several secondary dominant chords to tonicize E major, the 5 chord. The use of the C sharp major chord in first inversion leads to F sharp major, or F sharp minor, and then the B major chord leads to E major. This circle of fifths pattern is very common to use not only in traditional Western harmony, but also American jazz harmony. And then we prolong the 5 chord in this third phrase by using a 7 diminished chord in first inversion. And this can really just be a substitution for the B major chord. In the fourth phrase, we start in the distant place of C sharp major to propel us to the relative minor, F sharp minor. That minor 6 chord ultimately sends us back to A major with a subdominant chord headed to the tonic, A major. The bass voice is very active, moving stepwise until the final cadence, which is a slight variation of the second phrase's cadence. We could also call this 5/7 chord a 5 sus4, where that suspended fourth does get resolved to the third. In a traditional Western European harmonic analysis, Bach establishes A major with a tonic-dominant tonic motion. And what follows is a tonicization of the subdominant chord D. This is done on beat 4 of measure 1 with a progression of 1/6, 4, 5, 1, all over 4 in D major. Using a D major chord in first inversion with the voice leading of 9 to 8, that suspended second resolving down, we can lower the G sharp to G in that subdominant chord, thus making A major the original tonic a 5 chord of this 4th scale degree. So A does not function as the tonic chord in this brief instance, but rather a 5 of 4. I think this is very cool to start somewhere and instantly leave it and create some weight in a location close by the subdominant chord. Leaving the subdominant chord D, A major is re-established with a 1-5-4-1-5 progression. That last 5 chord has a 4-3 suspension upon it. The dominant to the subdominant chords use a passing minor 6 chord F sharp minor, which leads us back to the tonic. The cadence uses a 5 chord over 2 beats, with the tenor voice utilizing a 4-3 suspension and the alto voice a passing 7th scale degree, which would land on the 3rd of the tonic chord, C sharp, that D resolving down to C sharp, just as a normal 7th would resolve. What is interesting here is that Bach uses parallel motion from all voices here, and the outside voices from perfect fifths to perfect octaves in similar motion. The traditional way to use perfect fifths to perfect octaves would be in contrary motion, opening up from the 5th to the octave. This is technically improper voice leading, and that is totally fine. This phrase uses the opening A major voicing and then a chain of fifths. C sharp to F sharp to B to E to tonicize the dominant of this A major, E major. The C sharp major chord in first inversion is a 5 of 6, leading us to that F sharp, and the bass note E sharp really pushes that F sharp as its voice leading. The 5 of 5, the B major, solidifies the half cadence on E, which Bach prolongs by having the first E chord in first inversion with a bass motion of 3, 2, 1. In between the E major in first inversion and the cadence itself, or the fermata, a 7 diminished chord in first inversion is used. This looks like a B7 chord without its root B, and the voice leading is a 9/8 suspension. If the B were present, it would be a 4/3 suspension. In the final phrase, Bach uses a 5 of 6 secondary dominant chord, but instead of having F sharp pushed to B major, it functions as returning and retonicizing A major. The 6th chord moves to the 4, D major in first inversion, and has the bass walk up to the tonic, which then moves in thirds to return to the 6th chord, and then finally to have the cadence from the second phrase, this 5 with the 4/3 suspension, to finally rest on A major. The more I looked at this what seemingly straightforward chorale, the more I enjoy it. It's really a little exploration on the progression 1-4-1-5-1. I hope you found this analysis entertaining and educational. Keep exploring.